Welcome to the incredible Rockets Propaganda Channel. I am your man's AK Infinity. Follow me on Twitter at AKInfinity_VVS. This is the 7th episode of the Shootin podcast, and I got some special guests with me. I'm gonna let them go and introduce themselves, because if I try to introduce them, I ain't gonna do a good enough job, and I ain't finna get beat up. So we're gonna go ahead and shoot it on over.
Go ahead, AP.
It's your boy AP, aka Aaron Patterson of Clutch City Connect.
And this is your guy, TJ Anderson. I also am a co-host with my main man AP on the Clutch City Connect podcast. You guys make sure to go follow us, check us out, but especially make sure you tune in to Rockets Propaganda, because there's always some propaganda going on in the Rockets community. And it's stuff that needs to be talked about, because there's always some nonsense going on.
Always some nonsense, always some drama, because somebody just can't be happy. I don't know what's wrong with a bunch of these little sad kids.
Honored to be a guest on the show.
Man, I had said on Twitter one time, I said, some of y'all daddies probably still ain't came back from buying cigarettes, and your mama don't give you no hug. That's why y'all sad all the time. Why y'all so sad all the time, man? Like, some of these dudes is angry or sad. One of the two. Like, bro, like, life's too short for that. What's going on?
It's too short, but when it comes to Rocket basketball, man, I think it's taken a little bit too literal, a little bit too serious. And they have to understand, at the end of the day, these teams are going to do what they do because they feel like it's in the best interest of the team. So we can't do anything about it.
Nah, man, it got to be in my best interest. Screw the team. My best interest. I want this role player to get 25 shots a game, and if he doesn't, then the organization is trash.
Yeah, I need him to start over Jalen Green, no matter how many teams he's been on the last 3 years. He was drafted 3 years ago, but he's been on all 30 teams in 3 years, y'all. It just doesn't make any sense.
I'm glad I got
stay off that 87 gas, man. We cupped up, huh? We cupped up, huh? Yeah.
The closest thing I got to me is this, so I ain't cupped up, but I'm stapled up. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I don't know what you're saying. It look like some Lakers stuff, man. Staples Center.
No. Hey, man. That's the last thing. Those guys over there in Delusion Town.
Boy, I thought we bad. Nah, they. You know what? This is the Rockets Propaganda Center. If I start talking about the Lakers, I might have Lakers fans like looking up my address, trying to come kidnap me or something. Cause the way I go in on Laker fans, boy.
The LeBron fans too, man.
Well, LeBron fans are just
they having midlife crisis right now because they know he about to be out of there.
Yeah.
So they just hanging on to whatever threads they can, man. But anywho, let's go ahead and jump into this first segment. So we finna go around the table and everybody gonna give off their top 3 prospects. We're gonna start with AP or TJ, whichever one of y'all want to go on and jump at that.
Go ahead, AP.
Let y'all shoot.
Man, on the spot. Let's see, my 3 guys that I think should be Houston Rockets, all right? It's maybe a little bit of a shocker. I got Ron Holland on there. I think he fits the Amin Udoka defense mentality. He may not be the top best shooter or whatever, but he's got guys around him that could help him anyway. He can be that pest with Dylan Brooks. My second guy would be Donovan out of UConn. I think Alp is going to need some help. Again, I know depending on how long we're going to keep Steven Adams, if we're going to keep him for the year, or you trade him at the deadline, if Donovan's ready to step into the role with Şengün, but I can see him being a really good, solid backup center for Şengün when he's tired and he needs his break. And then the third is going to be Reap Shepherd, man. I know that's the main top guy. Everybody thinks he's going to be the third guy. He is a good shooter. I give him a lot of credit for that. And he can fit real well with this team. So those are my 3 guys.
Okay. All right, cool. TJ, go ahead and shoot. I know you got some Just
Well,
make sure you ain't on no 87 gas, bro.
No, definitely no 87 gas.
No 87 gas.
All right, bro. All right. At least 91, bro. 91 and up.
But trust and believe me, when talking about the top 3 draft prospects, number one, I'm going based off talent, right? The most, at least what I perceive as the most talented 3 players in this class that I think would fit on this Rockets team. And the first player that I do have is somebody that Aaron just called out on his list first, which was Ron Holland. Ron Holland, I believe, is somebody that is actually a plug-and-play guy. He's a 3-and-D guy. And yes, he's not a great scorer, but he wouldn't necessarily have to be that on this Rockets team. He could be one of the few players that come off the bench. Actually, I would make you. I want you to see something real quick, right? Imagine the starting 5 coming out. You have Ahmed Thompson. You have Ken Whitmore at the 2, since everyone was trying to put Ken Whitmore at the 2 last year above Jalen Green. And then you have Ron Holland, you have Tari Eason, and then you have Steven Adams. I think that alone is a starting unit. That second bench is better than the Detroit Pistons starting lineup. That's what I believe.
True.
I have a comment, but I'm gonna let you make it. I'm gonna let you finish.
But I think that's a serviceable bench unit coming off, and not necessarily starting. And I think Ron Holland would be somebody that would D up to probably one of the best offensive players on the other team. And they could literally swap. It could be Tari, it could be Ron, taking turns defending whoever, you know. Second person I do have on my list is somebody that I really do like. We had an episode before on Clutch City Connect where I told you that his uncle is really cool people. Rob Dillingham, number one, I feel like Rob Dillingham is the best guard in this class, talent-wise. Even more so better than Reed Shepherd. I think he's going to be somebody that unfortunately is not the Rockets pick because of what Ime and Stone are looking for. But I believe he's going to be a great guard for the future. For any team that picks him up, whether he goes 2 or 10, he's going to be one of those guys that is going to start and going to be really, really good. He can score from anywhere. He's extremely shifty. A lot of players have a hard time staying in front of him. Now, the biggest question for him has been defense, but this is a league full of no defense, so to speak. So that's not something I'm going to downplay him for, because at the end of the day, a good 90% of the NBA doesn't play defense at all. We literally just seen in the playoffs, I think when the Timberwolves won the first 2 games against the Nuggets, Jokic wasn't playing any lick of defense at all. And this is a 3-time MVP player that we're talking about. Still great. Still respectable. Give him his credit, I guess. We're going to get into that. But for what it's worth, and to go back on tangent, Rob Dillingham is somebody that I would actually enjoy to watch on this Rockets team. And somebody that I think, whether you start him or he comes off the bench, he's going to get buckets. All you got to do is ask him to go and line it up, and that's somebody that's going to go and get those points that you need. The third player that I do have on this list, and it's somebody that Aaron did not call out, and somebody that I think Rockets fans have kind of been taking a look at here and there, is Matas Buzuelis. Now, I believe Matas is a pretty solid player. I'm a little curious to see how his 3-point percentage comes up, but as I've stated in Twitter, on Twitter, I think shooting is definitely something that can come on later. I did have somebody question me about this, saying name 5 people. I told them, no, you name me 5 people, But I don't think that's a skill that necessarily is something that you have to have going into the league. We all have seen where LeBron has came from, right? LeBron was not a great scorer from the perimeter when he first came in the league, and now he's very respectable. He does that little hezzy where he's looking at the ball, and everyone is
that's his little signature move.
A little step back, and shoots that three, he makes it. It's almost cash every time. So I think we're all kind of a little over-evaluating a little bit how much of a need shooting is. Now, this team does need shooting, but I think we do have plenty of it. We just need more consistency of it when it comes to Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and also Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore can light it up. I mean, once he's hot, and you're not going to stop him. So I think we're very much so over-evaluating the shooters and the scorers that we do have on this team.
All right. I can dig that. I can understand y'all's perspective. From my point of view, man, the way I'm looking at the prospects portion is I'm just looking at the best 3 players in the draft that I think, and the way that I look at players is kind of straightforward. I look at where they're at with their physical stature and their current skills and what they do with it, and what are the chances that I think that they actually reach their ceilings. So with that being said, my top 3 prospects, this is not fit or anything. I'm not talking about fit. I'm just talking about just top 3 prospects. Obviously, one of them is going to be Alex Sarr. He's the top prospect. Now, we're not going to talk about fit, if he's going to fall, if we're going to trade up for him. I ain't going to go there right now. We can talk about that later. But as far as somebody who, well, number one, he does fit perfectly. Right. He can play. Okay. And we got to remember, Ime Udoka likes versatility, and he especially likes defense, and he especially likes length. No Diddy. He especially likes length. So Alex Sarr got some long arms. Now, you want to talk about, versatile, long, switchy lineups. Imagine a lineup with Amen Thompson. Let's say we do Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, Jabari, and Alex Sarr. Bruh, just Tari and Jabari alone, if they just spread their arms along the baseline, the paint is shut down, bro. And then you got Alex Sarr there in case you get lucky. If you get past Cam and Amen, good luck. So I'm thinking about something like that. And plus, let's not even talk about the offensive end, where he's pretty versatile. He's not a great shooter yet, but I think for a big man, as long as you know that you got to go and close out, and that's really all you need for a big man. All you got to do is be able to draw out a defender. That's really it. As long as he can do that, he's straight. But he can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He's quick for a guy his height, and he's athletic as hell. So I think that combination of size, skill, athleticism, I think would create so many different configurations of lineups on the team. Because, like I said, you can play him with Şengün, you can play him with anybody really on the team. He fits with everybody on the team. So that's one. And then 2, Donovan Clingan, for similar but different reasons. The similar reasons is the defense. I think he gonna be a defensive anchor kind of guy. You might have to have like the right type of players around him, but because I don't see him, he's not gonna be somebody who is gonna be somebody you want to be switching out on the guards and stuff. Obviously, nobody who's like 7 foot, however tall he is. They say 7'2", 280 pounds. That's a big mofo. I don't want him chasing and moving laterally anyway too much, because 7 foot knees don't age the same when you're moving like that. They just don't. But again, length, I think his wingspan is 7'7", so he don't even got to jump. All you got to do is raise his hand, ask a question. All you got to do is raise his hand, and good luck. He gonna block you. I seen some games in college where he just had dudes shook. Like, dudes was just looking at the paint, and they're like, nah, I'm gonna pass the ball away. Nobody even guard you. You butt naked open. He's just like, man, I got this big 7 foot guy. I'm good, man. Let somebody else make a mistake and get their shot blocked. Like he got that kind of defensive savvy to him, and then he knows where to be. He rotates well. He doesn't really get beat too much. I mean, then again, he's not moving too much on the perimeter anyway. But I think he would fit very well in our defense because Udoka wants somebody who can. The one thing we don't have on the team right now is a shot blocker. And if you have a 7-foot shot blocker, I feel like our defense will be taken to another level because there was a period during the season where our defense was kind of leaky and folks was getting to the paint on us at will. So somebody like that, and then offensively, he can post up a little bit. It's probably going to be a little bit harder for him to post up, and I don't know how much we want him to be posting up too much on our offense in the 15 minutes a game he might be playing anyway. But I'm not going to say he's like the most athletic guy, but he a lob threat just on his height alone, his length and all that. It makes him a lob threat because think of Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert be catching lobs too sometimes. It's not like dead sprint. It's just toss it up. I'm going to go grab it and dunk that thing, and then that's it. Simple. So his game is very well defined already. I think he'll have an immediate role wherever he goes. Now, for my last prospect, man, I waffle back and forth on this so many times, bro. I just didn't know. I wasn't sure. Y'all know I'm a Rob Dillingham guy. I'm really a Kentucky guy, regardless. Like, anybody go to Kentucky. You could get a tennis player from Kentucky, put them in the NBA, they're going to be good. So, I'm actually going to go Reed Shepherd, only because, yes, they're both small-ish guards, but Reed got more size to him. He got more body to him. He's a little stronger. Well, not a little bit. He's a lot stronger. He's neither one of them are going to be lockdown defenders, but Reed is going to create chaos and havoc.
Yeah.
He's going to be getting in the passing lane. He's going to be stealing the ball left, right, and center. If you're not looking, it's his cookies all day. But on the offensive end is where he's really intriguing to me because from day one, he provides something on this roster that we don't have. And that's just somebody with a burner where you got to check him or it's an auto bucket. No matter where he's shooting it from, you better pick him up at the locker room because he's going to shoot it from there too, and he's going to make it. So, I mean, we've been needing somebody like that on this team really since Garrison Matthews. Well, that 110-game streak of Garrison Matthews where he looked like the second coming of Reggie Miller.
Gary Bird.
Yeah. And he can get to the rim too. He can get to the rim a little bit. He's not the best finisher though, because he don't have the longest arms. He don't have the quickest first step, but he's very savvy. Like he's crafty. He knows how to get to his spots and pull it. Imagine him playing with Şengün. Look at the spacing that he would provide with Şengün and Jalen. Bruh.
Now look.
Bruh.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
listen to what you just said. You said the spacing he would provide for Şengün and Jalen, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of Rockets fans, and I'm not putting anybody out there on blast because I haven't just seen one or two. I've been seeing several that have said if we draft Reed Shepherd, he should start in front of Jalen Green. I'm not on that wagon. I think that's a horrible idea.
It's 87 gas, bro. That's 87 what it is.
Gas.
That's 87 gas, bro.
That's crazy.
We're looking for any reason. It doesn't make any sense. Jalen had that March episode, right? That was just showing how good he could be. That was a potential he flashed. And it's like, that doesn't even matter. It's like, well, we got to find, if it's Reed Shepherd, yeah, we'll start him in front of Jalen Green. I don't care if it's, if we can get Von Wafer back. We're going to start him in front of Jalen Green. And even Von came on the show and said, yeah, y'all need to get that boy time. And I love Von Wafer. I gotta know that's my boy. We dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Von, he was a fan favorite when he was a Rocket, man.
Yes, he was.
I missed him, bro. I missed his game, man.
Yes, he was. But he came on the show.
Yeah, he did. I watched that episode.
He came on the show, bro, and he literally said Rockets fans need to give him time. One thing that a lot of people don't consider is how difficult the shooting guard position to play is in the league. Shooting guard and center.
Especially when you come in young.
Yes.
Yeah, especially when you come in young.
Point guard, shooting guard, and center are the three difficult positions to play. Power forward can be plug and play. small forward can be plug and play, but point guard, shooting guard, center at a young age is just difficult to play. You're matching up with different bodies. You gotta understand, it's different lengths too. A shooting guard in the league can be anywhere between 6'4" and 6'8", 6'9". That's where the league is now. I mean, look at the Thunder.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. You good. No, you good. You good. I was done with my little soliloquy, man. But let's go ahead and run to the next segment. So the next segment, what would you do with the third pick if you were Rafael Stone? So you putting your GM hat on right now. What are you doing with it? Who are you picking? If you're gonna pick, are you trading? What's the trade? Does the trade make sense? Does it only work in 2K? Does it work in real life too? You know, what are you doing? And if you trading it, where are you trading it to? Are you trading for a pick? Are you trading it back? Are you trading up? Are you trading out the draft altogether? What are you getting back? What are we looking at? Anybody, any one of y'all can go first. Put that GM hat on.
Go ahead, TJ.
All right, I'll go first. So, I mean, you only have 3 options, right? You weigh your trade options as a GM. I think you always look and see what you have out there, and see, number one, how it fits for you, and what potentially the move could do for you. So for me, I wrote, you can weigh trade options. You either draft that player at that spot, or you trade down. Now, I didn't maximize on like a potential trade proposal or anything like that. But scenario-wise, for me as a general manager, knowing I had a third pick in this draft, I'll say if it's not someone that I feel like could be immediate help now, I'm drafting the player. I'm going to go ahead and make the pick there at 3. And those 3 guys I named, and also Reed Shepherd is up there as well. But those are guys that I'm looking at to fill out my roster. Because at the end of the day, with the Rockets having the luck that they've had with top 4 selections the last 4 years, 3 or 4 years, I think you just add to the abundance, you know, and I think next year's pick from the Nets is going to be especially good as well. And then I think after next year, you kind of evaluate and go from there, because you'll pretty much know what you'll have, not just on the team currently, but in the future. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to filibuster. I apologize, but
nah, you good. So this is what you think. My bad. So this is what you think Rafael Stone is going to do.
I think Rafael Stone is going to weigh his trade options. I do. Okay. I think he's going to weigh his trade options all the way up to it's time for them to make the selection if it hasn't been traded already.
All right. But we're going to talk about what we're going to do in the next segment. Okay. This segment, we're just saying what is Rafael going to do? That's what do you think Rafael's going to do?
He's going to weigh his trade options.
He's going to weigh his trade options. All right. And he on the clock. Boom. What does he do? You Rafael Stone. What does he do? You in the mind of Rafael Stone right now. In your heart of hearts, what do you think he does when it comes time?
Can't find a trade I like. I'm going to go ahead and draft the player.
Who is the player?
Ooh. The player will be, contrary to what I like, I think the player is going to be Reed Shepherd.
Okay.
All
right. What about you, AP?
Let's see. I'm gonna have to agree with TJ on this one. I think he's gonna weigh his options, see if he can find something with this third pick. But to me, it's gonna have to be somebody like top notch, ready to go on the Rockets. I mean, it's gonna have to be a top superstar for me to give away that third pick. So I think Rafael Stone, like TJ said, he weighs his options, but I think he ends up making this third pick. He is gonna pick somebody in this draft. Oof. And if I'm sitting in the chair making the third pick, I'm taking Donovan from UConn. Something about taking him, to me, feels like, I don't know how long Steven Adams is going to be on the Rockets. I don't know if you're going to use him as trade trade salary at the deadline or not. So I would like to have, possibly if Adams isn't there and you possibly get rid of Landale, you get Donovan in the gym with Akeem and get him in the G League, get him ready to go. And then I can feel secure and be like, okay, Şengün's taking a little break. He out there balling. I can trust Donovan to come in, give me 10, 15, with like 8, 10 rebounds. And I could be okay with that, solid. Couple blocks a night. And then I could feel okay knowing, okay, Şengün's cool. He's sitting on the bench. When he's ready to go, take Donovan out, give him his rest. And I feel like Şengün's all right now. I feel like last year he didn't have really a backup center that I could be like, okay, man, I need Şengün back in there, man. Landale is getting his butt kicked all in the paint. And I'm worried about Şengün. So I'm taking Donovan with the third pick.
Okay. So you think Stone gonna look at Donovan Clingan and say, all right, this is my guy?
I think so.
If he's available, sure. I'm going under the assumption that Sarr and Clingan are both off the board. This is what I think Phil Stone and Ime Udoka are going to do. I'm going left on this one. You ready? I think Rafael Stone and Ime Udoka actually grab Stephon Castle.
Oh, I have him in my honorary.
I'm gonna tell you why. They look so right now in the spot that the Rockets are in, they really got so much talent all over the place. Anybody that they bring in probably ain't gonna play too much, and it's probably gonna end up being a project regardless. Stephon Castle, his defense is NBA ready right now. Offensively, he can do some things here and there. But if he can play point guard, if you think he can play point guard, you take him at 3 all day because the upside is gonna be there. I don't really worry too much about his shooting because he shot I think 75%, 77% from the free throw line. And typically if you shooting below that, to me, I don't think you have much potential as a shooter, at least not as a guard. And Stephon Castle is 6'6". He can guard 1, 2, 3. Sometimes maybe even on the 4 on the switch. He really can make basic passes. He can make all the basic passes. Which I mean, really, if you're gonna be a point guard, you need to at least be able to make the basic passes, right?
Right.
But as far as running an offense, he did it a little bit with Donovan Clingan, just a little bit. I see Stephon Castle. Well, I think Ime Udoka will see Stephon Castle as his young Marcus Smart.
I did see something on Twitter.
Right. So that's probably what they're thinking right now. Like, hey, let's go and grab this guy. I want somebody who's versatile, who I can throw in different positions. And you really can't throw him in a bunch of different positions. He can guard a bunch of different positions. That's what Ime Udoka said he wants. He wants versatility. That's the number one thing. He wants versatility. So if he's on the board at 3, I understand Reed Shepherd might be the better shooter. But to me, when you're drafting somebody, you really draft based on the likelihood of reaching their top end if the top end is high. And Stephon Castle probably got the 3rd highest ceiling in this draft. To me, I think he got the 3rd highest ceiling because if the shooting come around and he's able to play point guard, boy, that's crazy at 6'6". You know what I mean? So that's just what I'm thinking. I don't think people should be drafting for fit today unless you unless you just completely rebuilding you in year 1 or 2 of your rebuild. Okay, then it kind of makes some sense. But when you drafting, I just think you just take the highest upside person possible and has the highest likelihood of reaching that upside. So that's my take. That's what I think Rafael and Ime gonna do. Any thoughts on that?
I thought you were about to take Ronnie James for a minute.
Ew, no.
Wait a minute.
Nah. Nah, we're not doing no Bronny, bro. We're not doing that. All right, let's go ahead and go to this.
Guard on the show real quick.
We're not doing Bronny, man. Bronny gonna be with the Lakers with JJ Redick and them, bro. That's where they go. Ahead, TJ. I know you got something.
Ooh.
Well, number one, I'm gonna tell you, I love Stephon Castle, man. He is amazing. And I put it out there on Twitter the other day. I don't know if you got to see it, AK, but I literally said that he could be the Jaden McDaniels of this team in terms of defense. It's the persistence.
There was some comparison.
I mean, the hip twist. He plays defense just like him, and he's not just necessarily like, in the whole like. But no, he's just he's giving the offensive player what they think they have. And then once they're shooting, he's already there with his hand up. I love Stephon.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Defense is phenomenal because, like I say, he's giving the perception of, hey, you have this. It's open.
Yeah, and then he take it away.
Right.
I think you stuck, TJ.
Yeah, he froze a little bit.
Yeah, you froze a little. All right, you back. You back now, bro. You out there ice.
At the right time, too.
But I love Stephon Castle, man, and I wouldn't be opposed to that pick, man. It's a couple cats that I like at that pick, man. Pick 3, and he's one of them actually. He's very much so one of them. And like I say, and like you say, and like a lot of people have said, he is that E-Man guy. He does provide that versatility, as you stated before. He provides a lot of things on defense, and offense can come. I'm not necessarily so concerned with rookies or 2-year players just bringing it, unless you have that special player like an Anthony Edwards or a Paolo Banchero. But at that pick and in this draft, I'm not necessarily looking at that, man. You made me think about something, AK, for real.
And then these guys, their talent levels are so similar in that range, in that 3 to like 8 range. I mean, might as well, man. Like, just take the guy who probably has the highest upside, especially since we're not really drafting for somebody who can play right away. That's what free agency is for. That's what trading is for, bro. That's what those two things are for.
Thank you.
You draft for the future. You do trades and get free agents for right now, or for break glass in case of emergency. That's what you do. But moving on to the next segment. So, what do you actually do on draft day if it was your choice? What do you actually do? AP, I'm interested in your answer.
Ooh. Okay, if it was my choice,
Your choice.
Third pick.
Okay.
And I'm either taking Donovan or I'm taking Ron Holland. Yeah,
okay.
But Ron Castle is an honorary spot too, so I would draft one of those 3 and keep the
Ooh. I don't know about that Ron Holland at 3 though, bro. He's good value at 8 or 9, but at 3, then again, I said myself earlier, I mean, you can't really look at the number in this draft, man. You can't really too much.
You
look
know
at that
what?
number.
I've seen some Wizards fans out there saying, "Hey, let's get a look at this guy." I was looking at a little thread, and a lot of Wizards fans like Ron Holland. So I think he can go anywhere between 2 and 10.
I hope he goes it too.
I hear
Wizards gonna Wizards.
At that spot.
I hope he goes. That's the most Wizard thing ever too, bro. I hope that, because they already got Bilal Coulibaly, and you need a center. Like, nah, go ahead. Nah, cool. Go ahead, draft Ron Holland. I hope they do. I wish, and I'm gonna pray tonight. If I go to bed, I'm gonna get on my knees. I'm gonna hold 2 Bibles and pray that they draft Ron Holland. So it be some Wizards. Nah, because I really be thinking. I think somebody gonna fall to us, because Atlanta, you don't know what they're gonna really do, and the Wizards, you don't know what the Wizards gonna do, but you know it's gonna be dumb. That's what we do know. History has shown us they are stupid. When they drafted Johnny Davis a few years ago, I was like, oh nah, these got some bumbling buffoons in their front office, bro. That dude is he's to me, Johnny Davis is a second rounder. To me, I didn't like Johnny Davis at all. I just did not like him. I was like, the Wizards got him.
That high was absurd. And I knew I wasn't the only one thinking that. I was like,
no, you wasn't the only one thinking that. You wasn't the only one thinking that. So the Ron Holland at pick 2 for the Wizards, I hope and I pray. I hope and I pray that this happens, bro. What about you, TJ? What you doing at pick 3, bro?
So
what you doing with the pick? What you doing on draft day?
If it's me, I'm drafting. And T-Wolves got a little lead. Okay. I'm drafting, and this is in my notes. This is literally in my notes. Draft at 3, Castle, Holland, Shepherd, all in play. And if Sarr falls, I think the Rockets pounce out. It's a no-brainer there. For sure. And the reason why I say that is because I saw a little report about the Hawks saying that they're considering Riziker. That's his last name.
Ricochet.
Yeah. Ricochet. Okay, yeah. French. Ricochet. At 1. And I'm...
I hope they do that too.
You know, I just think evaluations are going to go a long way in this draft. I don't think it's that as weak as a lot of people are perceiving it to be. I just think now is going to be double time and evaluating. There's no Paolo Banchero in this draft. There's no snap. There's not even a Chet Holmgren in this draft or Jabari Smith Jr. in this draft. Jalen Green, Kay Cunningham. There's none of these players in this draft that you know are going to be bona fide guys. So now you're going to have to do your groundwork, your research. You're going to have to write several projects on certain players to see where they actually fall and where they're going to be. I know next year's draft is going to be a little bit more enticing, but we're in it now. So we can't look ahead because what's now is now, and what's coming is the 2024 NBA draft. Not 2025, not with a lot of Ace Bailey and all those other guys. Those guys don't matter. And I've been even seeing guys talking about, man, let's just fast forward to next year's draft. You got a long time before then. You got to look at the prospects that's in front of you now, make a decision, and go from there. Because at the end of the day, what a lot of people don't realize too, development is a two-way street. It's the team and it's the player. A lot of times players don't develop, a lot of times because of the team. That's what a lot of people don't want to consider. A lot of players get drafted by these teams, and I'll tell you one player that I think really did suffer, unfortunately, from this. Did go, unfortunately, in front of Luka, and that it was the worst decision that they made. But I think Marvin Bagley was one of the players that absolutely suffered from this. Drafted a little too high, and I think the Kings did a disservice by him for not developing him properly in the years that they had in his developmental window. And now you see he's kind of bounced around a little bit. I think he's on his, third team?
Yeah, he with the Wizards.
Right.
Yeah. There you go,
He with the Wizards, bro. And they probably going to think, Marvin Bagley is so good for us. We don't need Sarr. We don't need Klingon. Give me Ron Holland. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. Wizards gonna wizard, bro.
The
husband too is in that
Wizards
same
need a point guard.
They do need a point guard, but they also need brains. They need some IQ points because they don't have any in that front office, bro. Dog,
they don't.
I could go get a crocodile out of the bayou around the corner that could do a better job running the team than whoever they got in their front office, bro. I don't understand. When's the last time they made a move and you were like, you know what? That's a good move. Bro, they traded for Jordan Poole.
Man.
Well, right now they think Denny. I can't pronounce the last name.
Yeah. I like him, but I don't know. I think he'd be better on somebody else's team, just like Daniel Gafford is right now.
Yeah. Gafford was truly one of those players, man, that he was already good. I know somebody that's really close with him too, man. Really, really close with him. What was it about 19? I'm sorry. That kind of just took my train of thought. But Gafford was one of those guys, man. I think he was just suffering at the hands of being on a very bad team with no clear direction, clear rebuild, need to just tear it all the way down and bring it back up. And then now you see that he's thriving with the Mavericks. And the thing is, he was doing the same stuff they were doing with the Wizards. He's doing with the Mavericks, but he's actually getting the attention now. Like now, he's putting boys on spot. Like, I'm good. I've always been.
It looks better now because
but he looks better now because he's actually with not just a great team, not just with a team with a direction, but he's also playing with two superstars. And Kyrie Irving,
he has a defined role.
Yeah, and he has a very defined role. He's not having to go and play and expand his role in a role that he doesn't fit. And
same with PJ Washington.
Very important. Yep.
Fit is very important with some certain guys, man. When guys are role players, fit is extremely important. Yeah, for sure. So, all right, it's my turn to be on the clock. What do? I'm trading this thing, bro. I'm just not comfortable with anything at that 3 spot. But I'm gonna tell you the trade I'm looking at. You ready?
Okay.
This may sound like too much, but just remember the draft that we're in, bro.
Okay.
I'm trading pick 3, either Jock Landale and Jae'Sean Tate, one of the two, or probably both, I don't know, to Portland for their 14th pick. And I want back Malcolm Brogdon. Yeah, so we get 14 and Brogdon. They could have 3 Tate and Landale. They could have that if they want it. You can have what else you want. You can have that. But who am I selecting at 14? I think y'all know who I'm finna select. Kel'el Ware. Give me Kel'el Ware. And I'm gonna tell you why this makes sense. Because he can come in and he don't gotta play right away. Again, I'm looking at projects. He ain't gotta play right away. We got Steven Adams right there. He ain't gotta play right away. You can throw him in the G League. We can, sauce him up good, get him up to speed, all that. We don't have to do nothing too much. We really don't. We don't got to do too much. All we got to do is let him sit back there and learn. And I like his game because he flashes some shooting. Like he's actually shooting 40, I think it's 42% from 3 on very, very low volume. But he's shooting 40-some% from 3. He can block shots. He's very mobile. He's a lob threat. He's 230 already. He's 7 foot 230. He probably add another 10 pounds by the time he's like ready to be a full-time rotational piece. And again, by the time he's ready to be a rotational piece, he's already learned from the G League system. He came in, he's gonna learn under Steven Adams. And when it is time for him to play, again, what does Ime Udoka like? Versatility. You can play him with Şengün, you can play him with Jabari. He can be. Imagine him and Amen together, because I'm projecting Kel'el Ware to be able to stretch the floor, at least shoot corner threes, while and run a pick and roll with Amen Thompson. Imagine that. I'm just kind of looking a couple years down the road, man, because I do believe that there's going to be some uncomfortable trades happening in the next couple years. I do
too.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I don't want this to happen, but I think it's going to happen.
I do too.
I do think Jalen Green is getting traded.
Yep.
I do think he's getting traded.
Yep.
I think so. There's a lot, because there's certain guys who their name's not coming up in no trade rumors because they're not getting moved. SGA had trade rumors. He was gone. James Harden didn't sign that extension. Everybody knew what time it was when he ain't signed that extension. He was gone. There's somebody else I'm forgetting. There's a few other people I'm actually forgetting. But some of these guards, man, especially guards, but some of these players, man, these young guys, these blue bloods, some of these young blue bloods that you don't even know are blue bloods yet, they get moved. They get moved before it's time for them to actually get right. And then you see them balling somewhere else, and you just sitting there like, I know the Clippers is hurting. I know they hurting, bro. I know every Clipper fan go to bed at night with a bucket of tears before they fall asleep, bro. I know they do. Think about it, man. All because you gotta force trades. Like, bro, he could have been there with Kawhi. He would have been more healthy than Kawhi and Paul George. Would have played more games than both of them. But anyway, that's a Clipper problem.
I think that's the pressures that's built when you have teams that have certain expectations.
Certain markets, absolutely. I think LA, regardless of if it's the Clippers or the Lakers, they're expected to win. Yeah. Lakers, they always think they're supposed to get the best free agents and win the title every single year. They're the equivalent of Cowboys fans, delusional. Oh yeah.
So with the Rockets, and I think this is the case too. I do think that Tillman may be breathing down some necks. Like, hey, we need to do something. And I don't want it to happen because I feel like he's gonna be a great player. But I do think that they're gonna secretly and quietly, hey, we got Jalen Green. Is Devin Booker available? I don't know. Is Trae Young available?
Yeah.
I say no too, but I think it's just to have the gravitas of having a star player here. I think it's just gonna be just having the gravitas of we have our James Harden replacement. Mm-hmm. We have our next man up, if you get what I mean.
Man, that James Harden thing is a gift and a curse, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for their next James Harden. Bruh, build your James Harden. Don't trade him like OKC did. Trade your Westbrook.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
I just think it's coming. They did say one of the core six could be traded. And I think the one of the core six that has the most trade value, because number one, they're not trading Şengün. They're going to give him close to max money. Jalen Green, I believe if he's still on the team by the beginning of the season, he's not going to have an extension signed. They're going to let him hit restricted. They're going to go all the way to the trade deadline, and they're going to shop him. And they're going to try to see if they can get a Devin Booker or a star that's saying that, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. Or I think what they're going to do this offseason, Donovan Mitchell says he wants out. I think they're going to go ahead and, hey, yo, Cleveland, we see you're having an issue here with Donovan Mitchell. You don't have to keep him.
That's going to be a disaster.
How about Jalen Green?
That's going to be a disaster, bro. Let me tell you why that's going to be a disaster,
I don't want Donovan Mitchell.
I don't want him either, bro. I'm going to explain just in basketball terms. No, nothing else. Have you ever we know that Donovan Mitchell is a bad defensive player.
Absolutely.
But he has only played with great defensive bigs.
Yep.
His whole career. Now, you come here, you put him with Şengün. How is that going to look?
Bad.
All right. Now, right now, we can bench Jalen Green and nobody going to bat an eye. Bench Donovan Mitchell, see what happens.
Oh, you're going to hear it. It's going to be in the media.
If there's a guy that I would trade Jalen Green for, it's a former Udoka guy. Jaylen Brown. It could happen.
It could.
That could still happen. I think that could happen simply because, I mean, if Boston don't win, they're going to look to do something because their cap situation is not going to be pretty. Drew Holiday just signed a crazy extension. Boy, something's got to give. Man, he ain't been looking good in these playoffs. Something got to give because they just paid Jaylen Brown a lot.
And they're gonna have to pay Tatum too.
Yeah,
and that's another thing. But if they do trade for somebody like Jalen Green, it had to pay him too. Not as much as a Jaylen Brown or as a Jason Tatum, but at least they have another young guy that they have on their books. They can control his fate. You can give him some money in a good situation. The way the cap is looking right now, what's the move for somebody like Jalen? Where is he gonna go? Because he's gonna want max money and might not get it. I don't know, man. It depends. I'm not hoping for this, but I'm just saying we got to think about that. We're fans and all, but we got to be realistic too. Like these things can be on the table, bro. I'm a Jabari guy. Boy, if Jabari get moved, I'm gonna be so upset. I can see Jabari going to somebody being very annoyingly good over there wherever he goes, bro. And we're gonna be like, man. One thing I know, he ain't going to the Wizards because they stupid.
I'll tell you what though, and this is just me, right? Yeah. So I have a very extremely short list of players that I would trade Jalen Green for. And I think there's one player who's in the playoffs right now that I think they should kind of wait it out and see what's going to happen. Because we don't know, right? And this player is young. He's competed with Jalen Green probably most of their upcoming, right? From Atlanta, Georgia. Oh. I think that's somebody that I think you wait to see what happens because I think with that organization, there's already too much money on their books, right? They're paying that center. They're paying a power forward that should be playing center. They're paying a lot of people. They just paid off this older guard. Now they're saying that they want to get in the Darius Garland sweepstakes. Do you know what I'm referencing to?
You talking about Ant Edwards. He ain't going nowhere, bro.
I'm going to tell you something. I think if they underachieve, I think you can hear some noise from them.
You're going to hear noise from Cat. Cat good as gone, you ask me. He good as gone. For real, he good as gone. He good as gone. Because they can get a lot for him. Somebody going, hell, it might even be the Rockets. Matter of fact, that might even be what it is. We might trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Man, I'm going to be mad.
But the only thing I have to say, he's on my short list. Him and Jaylen Brown. I would love to have Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're on my short list of players that I think that's if you want a now player and they're young, that's the route you go. You don't go about to be 28. In 2 years, his body's going to be breaking down. He's already undersized guard. Doesn't like to play defense. Chucker. I mean, I've seen Spurs with Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, he's going off. But and I don't mean to cuss, I apologize, but it's dang near.
We grown men.
Fuck. It's dang near ball hoggage. You know, it's dang near ball hoggage. You know, and I can see why Garland would want out if he does sign that extension. Because Garland hasn't been productive since Mitchell got there. That's just being frank. I think he showed something. He showed the world that he was a star level player, not a superstar, of course, but a star level player.
Yeah, he made an All-Star game, didn't he? I think he made an All-Star game, didn't he?
He made an All-Star game.
Yeah.
And that was the year before Mitchell got there.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's why I say that should tell you something. And I mean, I don't know. Like I say, I just have a short list of guys that I would trade JG for, and it would be those two. And I think that's where the list kind of cuts off. I know some people have said Devin Booker.
I can see it. I wouldn't be too mad at it. Just depending on what the deal look like. They're gonna want everything. They're gonna want
everything.
They're gonna want the whole Galleria.
They're in cap hill with those three players that they have between KD, Beal, and Devin Booker, and they're gonna want some value back. And they're gonna probably ask for not just one kid, but two.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna definitely want two. But then what they gonna do with Beal? He's the problem.
And he has a no trade clause.
Oh, that hurts even worse for the.
He has a no trade clause, so they can't just offer him up to anybody. I think they're stuck with him.
Okay.
If they end up blowing it up, I could see the Lakers giving them a call to see what they can get billed for. I think it'll be stupid, but the Lakers like names, so go ahead and go get a name.
Names.
Yeah,
they don't believe in developing nobody.
Yeah, bro. I don't understand, man. But any honorable mentions? Anything during draft day that you think could happen? What do you not want to see? And this can be not just Rockets related. It could be like you don't want certain players to get drafted to certain teams. You don't want certain trades to happen because they might affect the Rockets. Just what's something that you think could happen on draft day? What's a surprise on draft day you probably think you could see? Like what's on your mind on draft day, man? For draft day?
I think Trae Young becomes a Spur on draft day.
I don't know.
Dog, if Trae Young goes to the Spurs, this is gonna be me.
No Trae Young to the Spurs, man. No Trae Young to the Spurs.
Can I get a break, bro? I'm sick of San Antonio always making smart moves, always drafting first whenever there's a generational big man available. I'm tired of this, bro.
Man, that was set up because
I'm tired of this.
Wemby was playing for Tony Parker's I want to say overseas organization. That was all a setup, man. They said the Rockets were one ping pong ball away from getting the first pick.
Bruh, I feel like somebody did some kind of child sacrifice or something over there in San Antonio, bro. They got too much good luck, dog. They did some kind of ritual, bro. Like, this is crazy, bro. I'm sick of them. And watch them do something good on draft day. Watch them draft Dillingham and Reed Shepherd, and it ain't gonna matter defensively because Wemby tall ass back there, and it's just everything gonna work. He's gonna have some spacing around him. They're gonna be throwing all kind of alleys to Wemby, and they're gonna average 30 a game apiece as rookies because you can't double them. I'm finna be upset, bro. I might just stop watching basketball, bro. And then everybody gonna be like, "Oh, them Kentucky guards. People said they weren't going to be good. They said this was a role player draft, and they both going to end up being Hall of Famers. They're going to win 10 titles." I'm ready. I've already accepted that San Antonio is going to continue to be a thorn in my side, bro. Have you been to San Antonio before? Mm-hmm. Was Charles Barkley wrong or not?
No, it wasn't wrong.
Okay, all right. I'm sick of the Spurs. I'm sick of their fans.
The Spurs, you gotta give it up to their owner though, man. And he just knows how to find guys that can find talent. And I think with that report coming out now, Aaron, I know what you were gonna say, right? The Spurs have little interest in Trae. Don't believe that BS. That's BS. That's all to say, hey, we want him, but I don't want y'all to know we don't want him that bad because we don't want to give up too much of what we have. That's what teams do. So you have to kind of read in between the lines of a lot of these reports and understand what's happening. I do think that the Spurs are going to get a point guard. Some people are saying Tyus Jones. I think they're going to go a little bit above that, right? I think they're going to look for someone that can actually not the quote unquote develop Wemby, but help him win. I think there's a difference there because I think they feel like they have a unicorn. So they're gonna get that point guard that can come in and that's gonna find them, that can get them in position to score the ball. They're gonna find somebody, and it's either gonna come in the form of Trae Young, whether they get DeJounte Murray back, or if they get Darius Garland. One of them three are going to be a Spur. Trae, DeJounte Murray, or Darius Garland.
I watched them also get Chris Paul.
Or Chris Paul.
I can just see them. I think it would make the most sense for Chris Paul.
Yeah.
You ain't going to win no title. Chris Paul, you ain't going to win no title, but You get to play with Wemby. You get to extend your career. You get to get a whole bunch of cheap assists. I mean, why not? And then they mess around and get some other pieces because people gonna want to play with Wemby. The next thing you know, then we got a contender already because Wemby did say he want to win right now.
He did.
Matter of fact, some of them guys that they got right now might be gone. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I do believe they should just go for it right now because people that hype, man, you got 8 years max. You got 8 years. You better start trying to win right now because them legs gonna remind him at some point, like, hey, he gonna be dreaming and his kneecaps gonna be like, hey, bro, I'm almost done. What you doing?
Yeah.
Telling you, bro. Knees, bro. Them knees is not gonna be nice to him by the time he hit 25. Right. Yep. And then he be running up and down. He's super athletic. Like, that's not it look good. It's good to look at. But, man, no matter how much you take care of your body, physics is physics.
Physics.
You're not supposed to move the way you do, bro. You just not. Is there anybody, any players in the draft that y'all wanted to touch on, though, that we haven't already talked about? There's a few guys that's kind of interesting, but I didn't know if y'all had any thoughts on guys like Nikola Topic, Isaiah Collier out of USC, Cody Williams out of Colorado, Dalton Connect, guys like that. Y'all got any thoughts on some of these other guys that we haven't touched on yet?
So I can actually, I don't know if AP does, but I can actually touch on some of those guys. Topic, don't necessarily want him to be a Rocket, but I do feel like he's going to go somewhere. And I feel like he's a Spur kind of guy, you know.
Woo! Don't say that, because him just going there means he's going to be good.
Yeah. But he's one of them guys, I think they, you know, they typically go for those type of skill sets. And he's going to be one of them ones that, because they, like I said, they do need a point guard. They need a guard. Because Jeremy Sohan, I think their little project kind of just is going to come and go. I think they shouldn't even did that. Just put him back. Either, I don't know how they're going to do any of that. But I do feel like there's going to be some Spurs that are going to let go of. And not to go off tangent, I apologize for that. But Topic, I think he's a solid player. Don't want him here. But I feel like he's going to be... Honestly, I had to put it out there, man. Just I've seen a little bit of him. He's solid. I don't think that he's somebody that we need. I'm just gonna be bluntly honest.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Isaiah Collier, vastly underrated. I feel like just the season that he had at USC,
they were terrible.
They were terrible. And I was trying to find a little, some nicer words to say. They were terrible.
No. Say it like it is.
Say it with your chest.
Y'all sucked. Y'all was bad. I blame Bronny. It's not necessarily his fault, but all the attention on Bronny just had everybody distracted.
And the boy was coming off the bench playing 10 minutes a game, and I don't know. It just coming off a heart surgery, so I mean, Collier he's solid, and I feel like a team is gonna nab him, and he's gonna be a really good player too.
I think he got some good potential. Yeah. I see a little Baron Davis in him.
Yeah,
but
that's why I say I think a lot of these guys, the names that we're not really hearing, the ones that we should be kind of looking at a little bit more than what we are, because I feel like a lot of these guys, it wouldn't surprise me to see Collier go top 12. And you're not hearing nothing about him going top 12 at all right now. They're saying late lottery pick, maybe second round. No. If he falls into the second round, he's an automatic steal, whoever drafts him. It doesn't even matter who they have at the point guard. If they select Isaiah Collier in the second round, he's a steal in the draft.
I think he is probably, of my players that are like most likely to fall, it's probably him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might fall, and nothing to do with. it's just probably gonna be just the way the draft shapes up.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna do something stupid early. Washington Wizards. Somebody gonna do something stupid and mess up everybody's draft board.
Look, they take him with the second pick.
Man, boy, if Washington does that, I mess around and just buy his jersey just to support him mentally, bro. Because he gonna be going through some doo doo, bro.
You gotta remember too. At one point, at the beginning of the college basketball season, he was seen as a top 5 pick, and at one point, they were saying number 1. They were saying number 1
I saw that.
years.
For like the preseason mock draft had him definitely. I saw some that did have him going 1 overall. So the potential is there though. The potential is definitely there. Another guy that I think that might go unsung and nobody really talking about like that is Kyle Filipowski out of Duke. 7-footer. He can shoot a little bit. He can move a little bit. He's a solid. I think he'll be like a solid backup center for years. He doesn't have like a whole lot of holes in his game. He's solid everywhere. Like he's not really just bad at any one thing, and he can contribute here and there. He can pass it a little bit, shoot a little bit, rebound a little bit. You know, so think Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah.
And I hate to do the white boy comparison. I hate to do that. I really hate just doing somebody because somebody look like somebody. I hate doing that. But really think Hartenstein probably with a not as athletic as Hartenstein, but probably a little bit better shooter. Not that he's unathletic. He still got some bounce to him, but I think Filipowski could be solid.
Some against U of H, number 1, Shed going down. That's the only reason why I think U of H lost. But saw him against U of H, and I'm gonna be honest with you, AK, I wasn't really impressed with his game. I don't know if maybe it was an off game for him or what, but I do think he's gonna have a pretty solid career. Have it, like you say, fit that backup option. Somebody that's gonna come, he can, pretty much plug and play. Come off the bench if necessary, if need be. You can, if the starting center is out for some reason, maybe due to injury, you can start him, and he'll fill up some minutes. But he's somebody that I that was my first time actually seeing him, and I see the size. I just wasn't impressed.
It's U of H though. U of H defense will do that to everybody though.
Yeah.
It's just what they do.
Yeah.
It's just what they do, bro.
Yeah, they put you in a cage, man.
It's like playing against Miami Heat. Like they're just going to come after you. You're gonna work for everything you ever get in this game. You might win, but you leaving with a pound of flesh. Yeah, so take that with a grain of salt. I know, I understand what you're saying. Like when you see them up close and in person, I understand that. You gotta consider who they playing, bro.
Yeah.
It's certain teams, man. It doesn't matter. You play against certain guys. It's like when they say like in MMA or in boxing, some guys are just hard to look good against. That's U of H, bro.
Yeah.
Who looked good against them? Like, let's think about that. Who looked good against them this year?
Nobody.
All right. It's not like they didn't play nobody. They just make you look like you not much. Because Kelvin Sampson don't play that. Like, he probably beat you up in the locker room. You come out there. Bro, do you see how they pay attention? He's like Ime Udoka, bro. He's just like Ime Udoka, bro. Like, he's intimidating. You could tell his students when they're on the bench, like they're engaged, because if they're not, they might catch a left hook. So,
but you know what though, coaches that have that, like, and I'm just trying to create a correlation here. Like, look at D'Amico, right? D'Amico, his guys for the Texans, they will run through a brick wall for him, right? And I think it's good to have coaches like that. And I think. Like with the Rockets, they have that with Ime Udoka. I think those guys will go out and play hard. He has called them out last season for lack of intensity on the defensive end, which some I like, right? But I think that's the same thing with Kelvin Sampson. I think Kelvin Sampson is really down to earth. Snap, I even seen that he said something on Mother's Day saying, you know, call your mothers because you have them here, because one day you won't. And I think he's one of the realest coaches in college basketball. I think he's one of the realest coaches, period. And I think in a lot of ways, Sampson is a father figure for a lot of those guys who may be missing that. And I think when you have all three of those components all together, you're going to have some players that's going to come out and go to war every single game. And that's what you see with U of H's program. Every single game. Those guys are going to go out. They're going to play hard. They're going to do what they need to do. They're going to dive on the floor. They're going to make the good plays, right? The ones that don't show up on the stat sheet, but the ones that are going to matter when it comes to the closing of the game. When you have coaches like that, that's remarkable and sensational, man. So I think we had that with Ime Udoka. So I think that's something that is very important and something that's just special, man.
Right. I wouldn't mind Jamal Sheed though, one way or the other. We do have a second round pick. We probably grab him with that
44.
second round pick.
44.
Yeah, but we may. I can see them probably trying to get off that pick too, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they do, man. Leading up to the draft, I'm sure some more stuff gonna come out. We'll see. I'm expecting an exciting draft day. Well, I think it's 2 days now. I'm expecting some excitement. I'm expecting some surprises.
I don't agree with that. A 2-day draft.
I think the whole Nikola Jokic thing, him being drafted during the Taco Bell commercial, I think that made them like, all right, man, we can't be treating these second rounders like that because we don't know who's in that second round.
Yeah,
right.
That's probably all that, and make it a 2-day event. It's more money for the league. It's more attention on the league. It's the summertime. There's not really a lot going on. Might as well. So, and then ESPN probably likes the content anyway. And then I think it's good for the second rounders too, the second round picks too, because they still get to be in a little green room and enjoy a little bit, network a little bit, get some TV time. I think it's cool for them, man. I think it'll work out. It may be a little weird at first because we've been used to it just being 1 day, but I think we'll get used to it over time. I'm all right with it. I'm really cool with it. Besides, I mean, what else we gonna do? What else we gonna do?
Because we gonna watch it. 9 times out of 10, we probably gonna watch it.
Exactly. But yeah, man, that's all I got, man. Y'all got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. AP, we got something special, man, and I think we want to let you in on it too. You want me to tell him or you want to tell him?
Go ahead, big dog.
Hey, man, so we were announcing it right here, right now. Live stream draft day.
Yes, sir.
Hey, K, you gonna come through?
I'm gonna come through, bro. I'm gonna come through.
Okay.
I'm gonna come through for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
sir. Live streaming NBA draft day.
Yeah.
It's going down, featuring Rockets propaganda, AK Infinity.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on there, man. I'm gonna probably be chopping up the Wizards just up and down.
And
they're going to be entertaining.
Chopping up the Wizards.
I'm gonna chop them up, boy, because I know they're gonna do something stupid. It's just what they do.
And we probably gonna have one more person on there as well. We still debating, but I do know, I want to get AK on this. Maybe one more person who kind of maybe in a different market. I don't know if you know Jackson Lloyd, but
I heard his name before.
Yeah. He. I know he did get into a little something with Roosh a little while ago.
Everybody has though, except me. I ain't got into nothing with Roosh. I think
I haven't either. I have some respect for Roosh.
I think he does go a little over the top sometimes.
Yeah, he does.
But he knows. He'll admit it. So
now,
he can admit it. He good.
Roosh is kind of gangster because he went after Felicia Stone during the season.
I didn't agree with that because I wouldn't have done something like that, but
Nah,
I'm not Roosh. I'm me. Roosh is
you're
Roosh.
right.
He did what he did there. Woo, that's tough, man.
Yeah, because
that's tough. But then again, she deactivated the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I just don't like to get into all that drama stuff, bro. I don't
Right.
talk ball to me, man. It's like,
when it comes to hoops, it's just strictly hoops.
yeah, and Roosh can talk some hoops.
Yeah,
you always gonna agree, but he'll
Yeah.
talk some hoops though.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Roosh Williams, man. I'm finna lose I'm finna lose like 100 subscribers because people hate Roosh, bro. People hate that guy. People hate Roosh. Yeah, all right with me, man.
He all right with me too, man.
Yeah.
Him, Jackson, Gatlin, all them guys, man.
Yeah, sometimes they be off the wall, but
Yeah.
one thing I've learned on Rockets Twitter, man, if you keep it respectful, for the most part, people just gonna be respectful back. Like they're not gonna block you or start calling you out your name. You know.
Man, I can give
Rockets
you a
Twitter.
perfect example of that, AK, before we go. There's a guy on there. I typically talk to him quite frequently. I can't think of his name. He's a white guy, real cool. He has been on the Jalen Green. Let's trade him. I mean, if we can get Reed Shepherd, let's start him in front of him. He's been on that bandwagon, right? And me and him, we did have a conversation about that. But me and him are so respectable to each other. I mean, he's like a bro. And like I even messaged him, and he put out his list of players that he's looking at. And I said, man, you know, if I'm you, I would look at Stephon Castle. I'll look at Ron Holland, because these are the guys that I feel, you know, that fit what the culture that the Rockets are trying to set in. And he took a look at both of them, and he put Ron Holland on his list. He added Ron Holland on his list. So he took a suggestion from me, you know. So I think that's important, man. I think that's something that's kind of missing. A lot of Rockets fans, if they feel like you don't agree with them on something, that they feel like, oh, well, you don't know hoops, or you suck, or this and that, and you have to go and block them.
Again.
I blocked, like, RC Rockets culture, blocked. I couldn't do it, man. He just, when it came to the whole,
that boy dedicated. That boy dedicated, man.
Man,
he got no limits to his dedication, man.
He is an avid get Jalen Green off the team guy, and I don't understand it, because when you think about it, you put it in retrospect. Yes, I love Alperen Sengun. I think Alperen Sengun lifts the team, but if you get Jalen Green up to his max potential, you don't think that wouldn't be stunning? You have a playoff team.
And when he plays to his potential, we look different.
Yes.
Alperen Sengun is our floor. Jalen Green is our ceiling, bro.
Yes.
I've been saying that for a minute. Because when they both at the top of the game, look, when Sengun is at the top of his game and nobody else is, we're close. When Jalen at the top of his game and nobody else is, we still blowing teams out the water. It just looks different. It makes us totally a different team, man. I also want to see if Jalen can run a little bit more point next season, by the way.
I want to see that too. And I was going to ask you something before we go too.
Yeah.
What do you think the Rockets should do concerning VanVleet, which, you know, VanVleet and Dylan Brooks?
Ooh.
I think I want VanVleet on this team. One way or the other. I want him here. I want Dylan on this team too. I like everything that he brings. The problem with Dylan is he plays our most stacked position at their wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at some point,
the other day I was actually looking for engagements. I think Aaron and you are the only one that saw I was looking for engagements when I posted this, right?
What you say, bro? I'm finna go troll you.
When I had mentioned, I was like, okay, guys, so I see something that's viable here, right? It was a number 3 pick and Dylan Brooks from Mikal Bridges. And I think the 2027 swap. Wasn't realistic. I was just looking for engagement, right?
I think I did see that. Let me see.
I was just looking for engagement. And a lot of guys were like, oh, like just taking it super serious. I'm like, relax, man. I'm just looking for engagement. That's all. Like, you don't have to be so serious. This is just basketball. I mean, this is grown men getting paid to play a kid's game. That's just being honest.
Let me find
but I was just looking for engagement. That's all it was, because I don't want Mikal Bridges. I don't. I don't.
Not for the third pick in the
I don't
draft.
see the love affair for Mikal Bridges, because
he's a good player and all.
yeah,
He provides things on this team that we could use. But why am I giving up so much to get him?
Yeah.
Why would I do that when I can just roll with what I got, which is close enough to as good, if not already as good, because he fell off towards the end of the season. Especially.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I don't know if he was hurt or something, but he ain't look good. I don't know. He a good player, but I'm not giving them all their draft picks back. No, I'm gonna keep all your draft picks, and if anything, I'm gonna trade your draft pick to somebody in the East that you don't like just to piss you off. Nah, for real. If
not Donovan Mitchell.
No, we're not doing that. If I'm Rafael Stone, the only place I'm trading any of them Brooklyn picks is to the East.
Yeah.
Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because then Brooklyn is gonna be like, damn, all right, just give me this back and you can have all of this. Like, you got to put some fire under their ass, bro. Like, you got to do something. Like, if Stone is savvy like that, then he A1. He good in my book, bro. That's the kind of stuff a good GM is going to do. Another thing a good GM is going to do in this offseason, you take interviews with all different players. You take all kind of meetings with all different kind of players. And even if you don't sign any of these players, you get in good with their management team, and you'd be surprised how that goes long term. Like that, that you just make it look good, because their team, you're doing their team a favor, because you're making their client look like they have prospects out there. Like, okay, all right, the Rockets want them too. All right, maybe he is a little bit more valuable. All right, the Rockets may not have signed him, but they showed it to sound like they had a good meeting with him. All right, let's bring him in. Then all that does is drive up their value, bro. I think that's what happened with I can't remember what player it was. It was some player that I think, not this past season, but some time ago during the Daryl Morey days. I can't remember who it was. We were just taking meetings with people. Oh, the Kent Bazemore and Al Horford. Yeah, all right. And I know that we didn't sign either of them, but that's still okay, because if you can make a good impression on their management team, you'd be surprised. They may want to come back around and circle back with you down the road, maybe some years later, or maybe a different client that they might have. They might suggest, hey, you can go to the Rockets. They got a good organization over there. I think you'd fit well with them. Stuff like that be happening, bro. And I think we got to do more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just pay it forward.
I think that new facility that the Rockets are building is gonna pay dividends.
You seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard about it.
I'm gonna try to go look at it when I get a chance. I'm gonna try to go look at it.
They say that they're gonna use that as a free agency tool, and I've heard that it is a beautiful building and it is going to get some players through the door. I have heard that.
That's cool, man. I just hope it gets our players to stay, especially if they get better themselves. I know it's not realistic for all 6 of these young guys to stay here.
No.
But hey, not all of them is going to be superstars. Not all of them are going to be max players, bro. 3 of them at most is going to be a max player. At most. Yeah. And the other 3, one of them or 2 of them may have to get put in a deal because they might not be max, but their number might be a little bit high. Or you might have a deal on the table with somebody who makes sense to make a move with. You just never know, bro. The NBA is a funny place. NBA is a very funny place, man.
Actually, that's all I question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what do you think about the Rockets? And I've been kind of seeing this float out there too. Last question, I promise.
Are you good?
Some people suggesting that we trade the number 3 pick, 1 or 2 of the kids, right? So let's throw an example out there. Maybe like Tari Eason, and I know, right? But
I ain't.
Work with me here. Tari
Listen.
Eason, and I think the other one was I'll just take Jalen Green, right? For Paul George. And the number 3 pick for Paul George. That's been kind of, I don't know if you've seen it, AK, but it's kind of been on Twitter.
I don't see that.
I seen the one with Dylan.
Yeah,
Okay.
I seen him with Dylan, and I didn't see none of the core 6 because I'm not trading none of them. I'm not trading no young guys. I trade you draft picks, but I'm not trading no young guys for an old injury-prone guy, no matter how well he fits.
No.
I'm not going to do it, especially at that stack position that we already have. Sure, he provides top-end shooting. He can still go get his own bucket. He can defend. How good is that in street clothes?
like AD and LeBron.
I ain't never seen nobody in a suit make a layup or a free throw. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, bro. It doesn't happen.
Man.
He gets hurt at the most unpredictable times, and then look at how he goes out in the playoffs, bro.
Again.
Now I understand he's not going to be brought here to do that. He's not going to be expected to do that because it's going to be one of the younger guys who's going to be expected to take that. But at the same time, he's not going to be coming here for no league minimum. You want max money? You better give me max availability and max production. Don't play with me. Nah, bro, I'm good. I might as well just keep what I got. I'm not banking on your health. You don't get healthier as you get older. You just don't.
Yep.
Wait till you turn 30. The moment you step your foot out of bed, when you hit 30, your knees is gonna be like, I'm here.
Oh.
Telling you, the day I turn 30.
7th, don't remind me.
Oh, you do? You better sleep with some knee wraps. You better sleep with some knee wraps. Sleep with them knee wraps, a knee brace, and you just keep you a bucket of ice because you're gonna need it as soon as you step out that bed, because you're gonna be like, man, I spraying my knee. I'm 30 already. Yep. Telling you, bro. Get you a chiropractor on deck. Get you some good physical therapy people, bro. You're gonna need them. That's what being 30 is expensive.
Don't remind.
Hope you got good health insurance, my brother.
That's it for me, AK. I'm all out of questions, my man.
AP, what you got?
I'm just excited to see the draft, man. See what happens. See what the Rockets end up doing.
Yeah, man. I think, like I said, man, I think it's gonna be exciting, bro. I'm super excited. Hell, last year I went to Vegas to go see Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson. Amen Thompson was hurt. I saw Cam Whitmore. I went to the Golden State game when he got 6 steals and he was dunking all over him. That game was fun. If we draft somebody that I really like, I might do it again this year, man. Who knows? I'll think about it. But yeah, man.
Fun.
Yeah, it was. It was very fun, bro. Very, very, very much so. And it wasn't that expensive. Like the if you go on the strip, all the food is right there. You can just walk to the stuff. The food ain't too expensive. Or at least I don't think so. No, I don't think the food is that expensive, especially if you ain't, unless you're like a big eater, which I am, but I was on a diet at that time, so I had to be smart.
Yeah.
Food good. It was hot though. And it's crazy to try to take an Uber in Vegas in the summer. Whew, man, it's traffic everywhere. Literally, matter of fact, before I get out, we always about to get out of here. But last story for me. I'm in Vegas, bro. I was thinking, I went to the Thomas and Mack Center where the games was, and my hotel it's not far from the strip like that. But if you get in a car, it's gonna take you a while to get over there because of all that traffic.
Yeah.
So me being the African that I am, as hot as it was, I was like, and do I really want to walk? And I was like, man, my daddy walked through the damn jungle to get to America. Who am I to say no to this heat? Man, I walked my black ass all the way to my hotel, and I promise the cars that I saw at Thomas and Mack when I left did not beat me back to the hotel, because a lot of them was at the same spot. They didn't. The traffic was that bad, bro. I walked back and beat the traffic. maybe it was just that day, but I think there was something else going on too. That day. I think was there a UFC fight that week? I think there was a lot of people in town for something else too. I think that there was a WNBA game too. That was in the area and the Aces they good. There was a lot going on, but yeah, I walked from Thomas and Mack back to my hotel. It ain't bothered me. I like walking, but I beat the cars on foot. Man,
wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts, bro. But anyway, we gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This was a great 90 minutes. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Hey, if y'all not following Clutch City Connect on Twitter or on the YouTube channel, something wrong with you. And I guarantee you got a big bottle of 87 gas in your fridge because you're not a 93 gas person. You can't be if you're not following these two on Twitter and on YouTube. You got to be both. If you're following on just one, maybe you're on some 91, which is all right. But you got to be both. That's how you get to the 93. And sometimes, if you interact, you might get upgraded to that jet fuel. Yeah. So follow my guys on Twitter. Go ahead and drop y'all's Twitter handles too, so they can come see where to find you.
All right, guys. You guys can follow me at TJ Anderson NBA. Again, TJ Anderson NBA.
Yeah, King Beer 713. You can follow me on Twitter at King Beer 713.
Already. This is the 7th episode. Well, was the 7th episode of the Shootin' the Ish podcast, and we out.